Hey guys, I wanted to show you what I'm doing with my vintage CB350 Honda air filters. So I bought this bike at the end of the season 2 years ago, drove it all last season, and it's just now, I guess it's still March, we're under quarantine, and yeah, I'm really bored. So I tore into the bike, restored the carburetors, which were gross, and they came out beautifully. Uh, did the timing, did the valve clearances, took it for a short run around the neighborhood. It was beautiful, except it wouldn't idle for nothing, especially on the left carb, and that's when I tore into the carbs and realized they really needed to be rebuilt. So got new kits, new jets, everything. So while it was off, I took a look behind the air filter, and as soon as I popped this off, what was half of a car filter just fell right off. So I started doing some research, and basically you can buy brand new air filters, reproductions, whatever they are, and they're about 65 bucks each, so pretty steep. And the production filters were all enclosed, so a lot like this, and then there was just a paper filter in here that ran around where you see this depression in here. So I did some Googling around and decided a lot of guys had made their own, which is what apparently the previous owner had done. And so this is just a normal, it's orange, so you can tell it's a Fram filter. I don't think you can see, yeah, you can see. It's a CA350. So if you want to try this for your own, there's some numbers there. There's a 20639 and an S40051. So go out to Walmart or your auto parts store and get yourself a Fram CA327 made in Canada. Oh, Canada. Sorry. Car filter. And it will be a big circle. Cut it in half, however you want. Then you'll peel back. This is the outer part of this filter. You peel that off. It comes off surprisingly easy. You just kind of pry up on this edge underneath here, and once you get underneath of it, you just take a screwdriver and run it all around. So then you have your paper in here, and I mean, in theory, you could just cut it in half and silicone it down. That's what the previous guy did. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to come up with something more permanent, and I wanted to go to a foam filter that I can exchange, change out, re-oil, clean, put it back in whenever the time is. And I don't have to keep buying this and then clean up these pieces. You can see here's all the glue. There's some stain there from stickers and stuff the guy used, whoever the previous owner was. So what I did was I just took razor blades, went down the side here, was careful not to get too far. I mean, I don't think you'd be able to cut through all this stainless steel mesh anyway. Cut it right down on both sides and just pulled out the old filter and threw it away. Then I went and soaked this in water, cleaned it up with a little bit of degreaser just to get the old glue. Like I said, there was silicone in here. So the previous guy had siliconed it like that, but then over the years, heat, hot, cold, it obviously had broken loose and just fell off as soon as I took the cover off. So my plan now that I've got it down to just the back meshing, about a 3/4 of an inch, 0.75 there, is to now basically, I think it goes that way, is we'll glue it down, and I'm going to use some JB Plasti-Weld. Glue it down in there. Maybe it does go. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed, so it's kind of weird. Use some clamps to hold it around. I cleaned up my boots real nice, and they're nice and soft, so there's no problems here. Okay, and we're gonna weld that back in there and work this around it. And what we should come up with is a form where then this can go lays on top of that. I'm not sure whether I'm gonna glue it yet or if I'm just gonna leave it free. I think I probably am gonna glue it, but I just haven't decided yet. And then, like I said, your foam filter, which I just ordered a uni foam filter sheet. It was $15 US shipped. And then this will set right down on top of it. Next time I need to clean my air filters every year, every other year, pop that off. There'll be a green sheet that I'll pull out of there, clean it with degreaser, re-oil it, and then the green sheet will lay right back in here around it. So I've started that process, and that's what's going on over here. Basically using, this is the JB Bond Plasti-Weld. It's any epoxy will do. I thought about using just the regular JB Weld, but that's really more metal on metal. So we're gonna see how that does first, and then hold up, then we'll go here. So I just used a bunch of clamps, and I'll show you here. Worked my way around, put the glue in there on one side first, clamped it down, waited about 5 minutes, and then mixed up more glue and worked it all the way around in that divot. Came back around here and glued it to this side. I also put, kind of hard to see down here, but I put the glue down here along the bottom edge, making sure not to get it on the rubber parts, because if I want to be able to get those rubber parts out to service them. And this is just a wire mesh. Worked the epoxy in there into the mesh on both sides, and then about an hour, it's been about 30 minutes since I set this up. We'll be ready to take the clamps off, work the clamps around so that it's matching the frame there, and then I'll be ready. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm gonna glue the top yet or not, but it probably will. If you flip it over, you can also see there's indentations here, and this is where, obviously, I think the white stuff was the original factory glue they used. It's really tough. There was a whole ton of silicone in here that I had to clean out. I dropped this in a degreaser just to make sure I cleaned off everything I could. But if I do glue it, I'll put more glue on this side and work the orange edges in so that they're in there. There's a rod that goes all the way through there, and you can see the hole. Where is it? You can see the hole down there. So that's how you know you've got everything lined up. Plus, with this, when you put it on, where's its hole? You can see it only goes on one way. All three holes, see if we can get that shot, all three holes should line up when it locks down. The other thing I've thought about doing is right in there, this is where the air comes up originally. Thought about maybe putting in a pre-filter there. Like I said, I ordered the green uni foam. You can find it on eBay, you can find it on Amazon. I think it's 65 parts per million of air, which is pretty good air filter. And it's totally cleanable and reusable, and it should last you probably 7 to 10 years. It's the same foam a lot of dirt bikers use if you're doing off-roading. Obviously, this is a vintage bike. I've got a 72 Honda CB350. Well, it's a CL350 actually. It's the scrambler version. So I don't think it will be doing near as rough. The air filter won't get near as beat up as that. So it should last another probably 30 years if we're lucky. But the important thing is the green material, which will lay in here, will be able to easily come out when I want to service it next time, clean it up, re-oil it, put the green air filter back in, reassemble my my bolt going through the bike, and go back on the road. So by doing it this way, it's more permanent than just cutting half a filter and gluing it to your bike with silicone. It's more of a permanent, I think, solution, and it's obviously a lot cheaper. I mean, I think I paid. Well, I didn't buy the Fram filter, but I'm sure these are $9, maybe $10 at Walmart, if that. They're pretty cheap, and by buying one, you get both sides. I had the epoxy, which again, what is that, $5? Maybe $8 because it's JB Weld brand. I ordered the most expensive thing, I think, was the Uni foam, and it is, I think I paid $15 for a 12 by 16 sheet. And it's 3/4 of an inch, I think, thick, or was it 5/8? So was that half? A little over half, right around there. But it should fit in there fine, and that was $15. So really, this project's cost me 15 bucks, and a little bit of time. Obviously, I had to clean up all this stuff, but I'm under quarantine. What else am I going to do? Like the U.S. and probably everybody else. 15 bucks, pretty good solution. And I wanted to share it mainly because I didn't see anything else out on YouTube. I saw several other guys making custom filters for dirt bikes or for really smaller, like scooter 50cc type things, but no old school 350 vintage solutions, and it didn't cost $65 per filter to buy a new one. So thanks for watching, guys, and look out for more tips. Okay, YouTube, my foam showed up today. It's my air filter foam. Measured, it's about 2 1/4, and cut it to piece size length so that it will wrap right around there. These I did end up gluing the top on, so you can kind of get a look there. They came out really well. I'm very happy with both of them. So I'm getting ready now to take some gear oil. It's pretty heavyweight, and put it on the foam, wear my gloves, and you just kind of squish it in to work it in. You don't want to twist the foam or anything. You're not trying to tear it up. You're just trying to work the oil into the foam. Then I'll wrap it around, and you can see actually I got it covered with foam. And then I could put the sides on and put these air filters back on the bike, and we're done with this project. So again, the foam itself should last 5-7 years, if not longer. Plenty of extra here. This whole sheet cost me $15. I think I did buy the gear oil. That was $6. So, whole project there, right around 20 bucks to have done, instead of paying $65 each for each air filter. So, thanks for watching, YouTube.